that will help better their skills and knowledge in crops and animal production, by providing farmers with quality seeds and excellent animal breeds that will boost their productivity, by equipping farmers with necessary expertise that will enable them adapt to climate change, and to follow up these farmers after training to ensure that they are able to cultivate crops, they are able to rear animals on their own with focus on sustainable agriculture. And the last but not the least, to ensure that farmers are prosperous and that they have a sustainable future. When we look back at the communities where we come from, especially in Africa, most of our rural farmers in the communities, they see farming as a way of life. And coming with an initiative like this, we are bringing agribusiness to their doorsteps, letting them understand that they can be able to monetize their farm produce, they can be able to generate income, and by so doing, we'll see that we'll fight against poverty in this community, and the farmers can get returns from their investment. So, with that being said, like my mentor, Moses B. Otto, will say, he always says, why are we here if we can't do great things? So I want to use this opportunity to invite you all that if your vision and mission in life or your goals align with our mission here in Awesome Farmers Foundation, we are inviting you to partner with us so that together we can promote sustainable agriculture, we can better communities, and we can fight for a future where our food is safe. Then talking about the journey of a millionaire farmer, it is a book that describes a farmer who started from humble beginnings. When you look at the book, it has 8 chapters, and it begins with an introduction. In the introduction, you find out that farming is a humble way of life. Farming is a humble way of life. That is rooted in patience, resilience, and respect for the land. And for you to become a millionaire through agriculture, you must cultivate an entrepreneurial spirit. You must have a vision, you must have strategy, and you must be relentlessly determined. For the sake of time, I will just please go fast, but if you need the book, I have the soft copy. You can meet me after this and you get a copy. And for chapter 1, it has the seed of passion. For chapter 2, and for the seed of passion, it talks about that inner drive that got the farmer motivated to begin that journey. You can see chapter 2 has layering the groundwork, what you need. Then chapter 3 has overcoming obstacles, then educating yourself, just like Mama said. For you to be industrious, or for you to lead a particular industry, you must keep learning and you must keep innovating. That's chapter 5. Then you have chapter 6, diversing your income stream. Then branding your farm. What's your identity as a farmer? You must have an identity. Are you into animal production? Are you into crop production? What exactly are you standing for? Are you into organic farming? Then the last chapter talks about financial saving. Farming is an industry where there are so many unforeseen circumstances. So for you to be on the safe side, you must have savings as a farmer, so that when there are disease outbreak or there are challenges, you can easily step in. And the last part of our presentation, some agricultural opportunities we have in the Gulf. The first one is the increasing population. Just looking at Bahrain alone, Bahrain has about 1.5 to 1.6 million people, including expatriates. So this population alone, the people need food to eat. And if you can stand in the gap to provide food, then you make income. Then the need for fresh organic food. When we look at our health challenges, just like Mama was saying here, you see that 95 or even 99% of our health challenges come from the kind of foods we eat. And if you can produce fresh organic food, then you stand a gap. Then diverse cultures. We have Africans here, we have people from different continents. So if you can come in, because when we look at the Indians here in Bahrain, most of them, they produce their vegetables. They have brought in their culture into Bahrain, and they have restaurants that are striving. And this goes a long way to affect the farmers back in their communities, because when they bring the foods from their communities, that's when they import from their community. They make sales, and the money goes back to their country. But us Africans, what do? We instead try to integrate and eat what they are bringing. What if we bring our own food into Bahrain? So thank you. if there are any questions, for the sake of time, I think maybe next week. Thank you so much.
Come on, let's put our hands together for him. Let's pray. Let's pray for our hands on Jer.